Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live tonight. I'm going to teach very simply, very quickly, how to step into your next level. I am Mia Redrick, a business and a life coach. I got started in my company over 17 years ago, and I simply made a decision to go to work as myself. I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer and my systems in motherhood and how to package my knowledge into my very own business. And I had one huge problem. I had no idea how to do that. So I sought out help. I went to a small business resource center in my town, and I was told by the director of the small business resource center that my idea, in essence, mom coaching, that no one would ever pay me to do what I do today. And I always share the story with you because maybe you've got that out of the box idea also, and you are trying to figure out how to take your dreams that seem to make sense to you and how to monetize those at a high level. That was me. But I kept looking for someone to help me, and I ended up bumping into a coach. I went to a live event, and at that live event, it changed my life. It was the first time I ever saw someone doing what I wanted to do. And I signed up to work with her. I've worked with the same coach for over 17 years, and that's a tip. All right. Hey, Priscilla, good to see you. Tonight, I'm going to talk about how to step into your next level. And I think some of what I'm going to share, you've never heard this perspective before. And I'm simply going to share my opinion based on what I've done over the years to be able to move the needle in my life to that next level. And I don't care where you are in your life or in your business, you can benefit tonight from learning, or today, depending on when you're listening to this, you can benefit 100% from understanding what are some small incremental changes that you can make that are totally available to you right now to be able to step into the next level of your life. Hey, Jamila, I'm so glad that you're here. So here's my story. When I started my business, I decided I wanted to build a business around my life. And it is the foundation that I teach my clients. So my clients learn how to build businesses that are time rich, meaning that they have greater freedom and they're not building their businesses trading time for dollars. See, one of the reasons that I wanted to have a business was so that I could be the kind of mom that I wanted to be. And I needed time to be able to do that. I needed freedom to be able to do that. So fast forward, I've had the opportunity to be a full-time entrepreneur for over a decade. My children, who are now, I can't believe I'm saying this, 15, 19, and 22, have never seen their mom or dad ever work a job. Now, I'm really excited about that. We've always been full-time entrepreneurs, and that was one of the goals that I personally had, was to be able to run this company from the comfort of my home and to be able to model that example for my children. But one of the other blessings for me that happened was my husband developed kidney disease about 12 years ago and went on dialysis. And he got a kidney transplant 7 years ago. And I was so grateful that I had built a business that allowed me to be free, Arlene, because it allowed me to show up for my husband in ways that you need time. You need time and you need money, right? And they're both really important. And you don't know how much you need those things until you create those things really and your family needs you. And I was so grateful that I had built a business that allowed me to be available to my husband. And so it's the reason why when I come onto these lives and I share with you guys my story, I share with you the importance of not being codependent on a man for income or your job for income, because if I were, I wouldn't have been able to stand in the gap for my husband. You guys get where I'm coming from my heart. So tonight I'm going to talk about how to step into your next level, and I'll get started over the next couple of minutes. And I'll tell you that one of the greatest blessings to me has been being able to give my kids a world-class education. So my husband and I, that was a dream we had, and we've given our kids an amazing elementary, middle, and high school education. We've invested over $1 million just educating them that way. That was really important to us foundationally, to give our kids the best education, and 2 of them have gotten pretty much full scholarships to college, and then my oldest is in high school. And I know a lot of the moms moms out there that follow me, one of the reasons that you want to build a business is because you want freedom. You want to give your kids an amazing education. You want to date your husband in the middle of the day if you're married, or you just want to have the time to do what you want to do when you want to do it. All right. And maybe you're like me, you just don't see yourself as that person working 40, 50, 60, or 70 hours each and every week for the next 20 or 30 years. I gotcha. And so what I'm going to share with you tonight is going to shift you and make you think a little bit differently. I think that it'll best support you if you are of the mindset that you're ready, right? So if you're ready, you need to be ready for my lives. If you're ready, I want you to write, I'm ready. Because I think you have to be ready to receive a powerful message. I'm going to talk tonight very simply, 8 steps only, how to step into your next level. I'm going to break this down, and then I will come back at the end and ask you your aha or your biggest takeaway. So be prepared for that. All right. So who's ready? Who's ready to receive? If you're ready, I want you to write, I'm ready. And then we'll just jump right into the training. So I wanted to do this because I was thinking about this today, and today was like one of those perfect days for me. And I got to do what I wanted to do. I don't have calls on Mondays. I work Tuesdays and Wednesdays in my company, coaching clients. And I was thinking, like, today's like the perfect day to talk to my husband all day as much as I wanted to, perfect day to work out in my gym downstairs, perfect day to read my books, perfect day to talk to my mom and my friends. And I know that perfect days are, it's what we all want, right? To build a life by design, not by default. And so that's what I thought I would talk about this today. And so Maria says she's ready, and Priscilla is ready, and Fonda is ready, and author, pastor, singer Tamela is ready, and Jamela is ready. You're ready. And she says she's excited for my time, right? It's so important, right, that we have that time. All right, so let's just jump in. How to step into your next level. Now, here's number one. And number one is super important. Make up your mind. Okay, sounds real simple, right? Make up your mind. So if you want to step into your next level, I thought you need to make up your mind. And when I think of making up your mind, you actually want to renew your mind on the mark. Yeah, you need to renew your mind on the goal that you have, on the mark, the thing that you really see in your mind's eye. And I don't think a lot of us spend a lot of time making up our mind about what it is that we really and truly want. I think sometimes we think the things that we want are so far from us or so hard from us, but I like to approach things from ease and grace. And so I often think, if I obtain the thing that I desire, how much easier would my life be, my marriage be, my how much healthier would my body be? So whenever I'm making up my mind about the thing that I want, the mark, the goal, I actually think about it from the perspective of, if I already had it, how will having this thing literally transform my life? You got to make up your mind. And I think sometimes we never step inside of, what if we got the thing that we desire and the impact of it? So we never really experience the joy. We never ever shift our mindset and our beliefs around, wow, that would be transformational, stepping into life this way. I wanted to mention this today because, as I mentioned, today I had one of those days that was, for me, a perfect day, right? Got to do exactly what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, how I wanted to do it, and with who I wanted to do it with. And I made up my mind, right, years ago, that I wanted to build a business around my life and not the other way. And there's so many entrepreneurs, when they go into business, they go in business specifically with the intent, I'm going to run a business, but they never think about the life that they want to live. Refresh your thoughts. Renew your mind. Think about the possibility. Like, feel for a second, take some time and think about, what would it feel like to live the life that you desire? Really think about it, because sometimes we are so separated from the thing that we want that we never fight for the thing that we want. I remember thinking, when I started my business, freedom was the thing that I desired more than anything. And I literally could taste it. Like, I thought about it all the time, what my life would look like if I were the person controlling my time. What would I be doing? Who would I be with? How would it change my choices, et cetera, et cetera? Have you ever thought about making up your mind that way? Have you ever thought about making up your mind that way? Is this making sense? Number 2, how to step into your next level. Number 2 is, seek the support that represents the change you desire. So when you want to get to your next level, one of the things that's really important to understand is that wherever you are right now is where you've gotten yourself, right? But when you think about going to your next level and where you want to be, often what I recommend is like seek support. Think about people who have the change that you desire, the lifestyle that you desire, that are already doing the things that you want to do. So for me, I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to work from the comfort of my home. I wanted to build a business that was time rich. I wanted high profits. I didn't want to have a job in the conventional sense, and I didn't want to build a business like a job. So I sought out mentors and coaches who had time freedom so that I could learn how to build a business the same way, my own way, right? Like doing what I want to do. And so I'm a big proponent of my mentors and my coaches all had to be free. Like if you weren't free, you couldn't teach me, right? And I didn't want to build my business as a speaker on the road because that's not how I wanted to generate my income. I wanted to be in my home and figuring out, or wherever I wanted to be around the world, and able to run my business simply by taking my laptop or my computer with me. So I want you to think about this for a minute. A lot of times when we want to get to our next level, we never think about, when we think about our mentors, our coaches, our trainers, our consultants, we never think about the life that they're living, right? Like who is living the life that you desire, all right? Because that's the ideal mentor. That's the ideal coach, meaning it's not just what people say, it's really how they live ultimately, because anyone that's going to teach you what to do, you likely would learn how to live the way that they do. Let me explain what I mean. You know, if someone is free, they can show you how to be free, right? If someone's working and the way they generate their income is on the road, and that's the primary method that they have, they may be successful, and I'm not knocking that. But if that's not what you desire, you need to align your mentors and coaches, their lifestyle, right, with their lifestyle and their strategy, and make sure it's congruent with how you want to live. And I found that to be true for me. Every single person that I've ever hired to coach me, teach me, train me, they've all had freedom. And it really supported me in understanding how to build a business based on leverage. It is the model that I teach and share with my clients also. I coach my clients on Tuesdays and Wednesdays primarily. I have a few private consulting clients, but very few. Most of my clients I coach in a group setting. I love what I get to do. I love the value I get to add to my clients. I work with giants, women who are smart and they're sharp. They believe in self-investment. They're action takers. They're go-getters. They're go-givers. They give to other people. And I remember thinking years ago, that was what I wanted to do. Have you ever taken a minute to think about for yourself who represents the lifestyle, right, that you desire? Right? Because you got to understand that the models that someone's going to teach you, it's going to be based on what they're doing themselves, right? That was really important to me. Now, my coach would always go to Mexico to live since I've known her for 3-4 months out of the year because she doesn't like winter. And I was like, well, I didn't necessarily want to do that yet because my children were in school. I wanted to learn from someone that knew about that level of freedom and that could build a business with their laptop only and show me how to do that. And I've done exactly that. Number 3. Associate with people who are where you desire to be. That means that your peers, that means that your accountability partners, that means that the people that you're learning with that are at your level and above, your ambition level and above, you know, associate with people who are where you desire to be. And I think this is probably the biggest mistake people make when they want to get to their next level, is that they associate with people their own ambition level and above and below. But I've learned over the years that a lot of what I've learned has come from people who I say speak another language, meaning they know things, they do things differently than I do things because of their exposure. Maybe they're further ahead. And as a result of that, I grow as a result of being with them. I learn about their ability to problem solve. I learn about what they focus on. I learn how they leverage their time. I learn how they strategically invest. I learn how they build great companies. I've learned how they automate their businesses, how they run their teams. So make sure if you want to get to your next level that you are associating with people, your ambition level and above. Now, this is a tricky thing because A lot of times when we're in business, we want to hang out with people who are like-minded, people who are like us. But I always like to associate with people who are doing things that I don't do, that are at a high level because they have a different mindset. I was just telling my husband tonight at dinner, I said, I've never been that person over the years. Whenever I've attended events with that my coaches have had that want to just hang out and have lunch with everybody or breakfast with people, I typically like to hang out on my own, or I like to hang out with my teachers because I learn a great deal by being around my teachers. Or if I am going to hang out with someone that I would deem a peer, it's a peer that's elevated. They've done something in a way that I don't do. And so as a result of my association with them, I grow. Is this making sense? Is this supporting you? If this is supporting you, I want you to write right now, this is supporting me. If you're watching the replay, right, this is supporting me. I wanted to come on here tonight and talk about how to step into your next level. And I think sometimes we think it's harder than it is. And every single thing that I've mentioned so far is super easy, very, very attainable for any single person here. I'll recap. Just number one is make up your mind, renew your mind on the mark, right? Literally make the decision that the thing that you want is possible, and think about what your life would be like to step into that, in opposed to thinking that the mark is so far away and so distant and not available to you. All right. Number two, seek support that represents the change you desire. And that's really important. Okay, so make sure that the mentors, the coaches, the teachers, and trainers that you want to work with, that they represent, right, what it is that you want to do. I mean, the truth of the matter is, it's like hiring someone to work with you and you say that you want to write a book and they've never written a book, right? Like literally, okay? Like imagine that, okay? So just make sure that the people that you say yes to, they've done the thing that, and there's evidence, right, that they've done the thing that you want to do, that they're living the life that you want to live. Okay, this is really important. So Jamila writes, this is supporting me, and this is right on time for little old me. Okay, and Tamela writes, this is supporting me. Yes, learn from the best. All things are possible. Absolutely. Okay, so and then number three is associate with people who are where you desire to be. And that's really important because I think sometimes we don't think about association and how impactful it can be. It's funny because I can always tell when people are rocking and rolling, they have an appetite to be around people who are rocking and rolling. And you can also tell when people aren't rocking and rolling, right, in terms of their goals, their dreams, their plans, because they hang out with people and they've got room for people who are rocking and rolling. So you have to make that decision for yourself if you want to step into your next level, that associating with people your own ambition level and above is not only what you should do, but it's what you deserve, right? If you truly want to align your goals with the right people. Okay, number four, invest in your language, okay, because it impacts your thoughts. Okay, and now hang in there. We're talking about, how to step into your next level. And I'm going to tell you that stepping into your next level and what you say, okay, is so important. When you walk in a room, when you talk to someone, when you write a letter, okay, when you lead from the front, however it is that you do, we all use language in some way. And people can tell everything that they need to tell about you based on what you say out your mouth, what you write down on paper. Like literally, right? Like literally. So one of the things that if you want to step into your next level, what's really important is investing in your language, because your words influence your thoughts influence your feelings, and your feelings influence your actions. Words, thoughts, feelings, action. Okay? So I've found over the years that the most successful people who step into their next level are people who read more. They tend to be people who love to invest in learning, okay, and in growing, and in personal development and communication, right, and team building, right, and the reason that people who are successful appear confident, it is that it's not that what they have is something that's not attainable for most. It's just that their level of personal investment is different. So what I always say is that when you see someone showing up in a way that you admire, it could be on live, it could be on a stage, right? It could be a class, it could be a webinar, it could be whatever, right? Ask them, what kind of investments have you personally made to show up like that? Because people don't just show up like that. I think a lot of times we forget that we're all a work in progress, because we are, okay? And that a great life is a life where you invest in yourself. And when you invest in your language, what happens is great language attracts people and poor language doesn't, right? It doesn't make you attractive. All right. I want you to think about this for a minute. So it could be something as simple as whenever you articulate a problem, you say you're stuck, or I can't figure this out, right? Imagine being the person that every time you approached your team, instead of saying, that was a really great idea, and one of the things I'd love your support on is this, right? That's more solution versus, man, I'm just stuck, right? Like, because when you're stuck, it's a fixed position, and your words become your beliefs. They become your actions, words, thoughts, feelings, action. So whenever I say what I say, I always like to be able to say as a supporting statement, that's exactly what I want. And if I can't back up what I'm saying with the words, and that's exactly what I want, then I tend not to say it. Equally, in my circle, I tend not to hang out with people who don't speak words that affirm, okay? Because words are very powerful. And they can either build bridges or they can tear down, right? Tear things down. And so what I also understand over the years is that whenever someone gives you advice, they're actually not giving you advice. They're talking to themselves. That's right. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm talking to you the way I talk to myself, okay? So it's really important that you understand the power of language. So you invest in your language, so that it's an elevated language, so that as a result of when you speak, people are attracted to who you are and what you do and how you do it. Number 5, invest in the level of the outcome that you desire. See, if you want to step into your next level, think about the outcome. Think about who do you want to be? It could be something qualitatively, like on the life side. A lot of my clients work with me and they learn to step into a higher level mindset. They build the quality parts of their life, right? They have better relationships, right? They learn to love themselves more. They learn to practice better, deeper self-care. And as a result of that and building clarity, they're able to show up in business in different ways. Invest at the level of the outcome that you desire. Think about if it's business and you're like, I want to build a business. I'm making this up, but I want to build a business and I want to have my first, $100,000 a year plus, $250,000 a year plus, $500,000 a year plus, $1 million a year plus. Think about what investment could you make at a high level in yourself, right? That would honor that belief. And I will tell you, most people don't invest at a level that they believe. They invest at a level of disbelief, so that if what they're doing doesn't work, they can walk away. All right. So, it's like investing. And I always use this example. Years ago, I used to get the Tybo videos. And remember when they were like videos that you could watch, like with a VHS, device or VCR. And I got those videos, maybe they were $100, and I would watch Billy Blanks do the videos, and I would sit on the couch, right, and watch him, because I was like, this is amazing. I started off with him for like the first 3 minutes, maybe. Okay. And then after that, I would just watch him. Okay. But because it was $100, it was an investment that I could walk away from. You need to make an investment in yourself so that you have to show up and do the work. And I know this to be true. I watch so many women who are action takers and implementers change how they show up for themselves because they invest in themselves at a high level. All right. And I will tell you, like, think right now as I'm saying how to step into your next level. Ask yourself, have you been investing at the highest level in yourself, in your dream? Are you investing at the highest level in, for the outcome you desire? Or are you just testing the waters to see if it works? All right. I've always just said, I'm going to invest in me at the highest level. When I got started in my business, it took me about 18 months to really figure it out. And I was telling my clients, not my clients, but on my coaching call today, I was telling the community this. I said, it took me about 18 months to really figure it out. Now, I made money along the way, But at 18 months, it was a turning point for me of all the investments, the sum of all of my high level investments. I began to see a significant return. The reason I saw a return was because I changed. See, the return was in me. And because I made the highest level investment in myself and I really invested in what I needed, in opposed to a band-aid, I was able to grow. And the same will be true for you. Okay. So if you haven't been making those investments in yourself, I want you to think about it. All right. And it's a sacrifice, KS. I see what you're saying. Yes, highest level investment can afford right now during this pandemic. We're not talking about today as the only time to invest, right? This is lifetime information. And we're talking about how to step into your next level, how to step in your next level. And I know that self-investment is a significant part of it. When I got started 17 years ago, and my coach was charging then like $2,500. I think it was $1,000 at first an hour. That was a lot of money back then, right? 17 years ago. I didn't have the money, but I had to find the money. And because I found the money and I decided that I was worth it, I changed my life, right? Because I invested in what I needed. All right. All right. So, Jamila, I will at the end, I'll come back and answer your question. Okay. And number 6, do the work and all of it, right? So we're talking today about how to step into your next level, okay? And number 6 is do the work and all of it. And I find that most people never realize their goals, their dreams, and their plans because they don't do the work. They don't do all of it. They think they do all of it, but they actually don't do all of it. And I say this because I'm an implementer. I'm a person that, if you tell me to do like 5 steps, I do all 5. And most people don't. They get the highlights, the cliff notes, and things like that. And, imagine if you were trying to make your bed. Okay, just think about trying to make your bed, right? And then you have the bottom sheet and you have the top sheet for those of you who use that. You have the comforter, you have the pillows, you have the shams, right? But imagine if you were making your bed and you didn't put on the bottom sheet. Is your bed made? Okay, well, it is. Is it completely made? Is it a bed you want to get into? So the thing is, we can say that we are doing what we need to do, like the bed is made. I walk in the room and it looks like the bed's made, but there's no bottom sheet on the bed. Okay, this is super important to understand the difference. And if you don't understand that difference, that's important to understand that. Do the work, do all of it. And I think that a lot of times when I look at how we all show up in the world, right? And if we want to step into our next level, making that small change in terms of how we implement changes everything. Because what happens is the more you do, the more you grow, the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn what works, the more you learn what doesn't work, right? The more you learn how far you've come, the less you judge yourself, right? The more you learn from your mistakes, right? So important, right? So make sure you do the work, right? All of it. And that you don't skip steps because that's the only way, right? Like to get things done. I use the example with making your bed, but you could apply it to anything. I think about it. We recently did some renovations in my house, and I think about some of the things that the guys had to do. I mean, if they didn't complete and put in the appliances when they did the kitchen's not finished. Okay, now cabinets in. Okay, great. The sinks in, countertops are in. But if there's no appliances, we can't really use the kitchen. And so you need to think about this as it relates to stepping in your next level and make a commitment to yourself based on the goals you have, that you're going to be a completer, that you are going to do things in completion, and you're going to see things through. It's really important. And it makes all the difference. Number 7, don't waste your time. Oh my goodness. Don't waste your time or spend time with people that waste time. Okay, now this one is a huge thing, and actually this is how my mom used to always say this, and it's so true. And you want to step into your next level, you want to be aware of this. Time is an asset. You can't get time back. Okay, you can't get time back. Like, it's an asset. Okay, and so anyone that wastes their own time will waste yours. It's true. Okay, so make sure that each and every day you value time. Like, you know, you and I here together right now, this is a great moment, but no one knows what the next 10 minutes holds. Okay. And the 10 minutes that have just passed are gone. And I think so many people keep saying, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do this later. I want to get started in 3 months. And we treat time as if time is promised to us, but it's not. And so I have a great respect for time. I think my clients will tell you that. I typically, for the my coaching programs, I typically come on most calls early. I stay late. I value them because time is important. It's really, really, really important. And ask yourself right now, how are you showing up with time? How are you treating time? Do you see time as an asset? Are you wasting time? How can you better use time? We're talking about stepping to your next level. We're talking about valuing your time. And I can tell you that time is the only thing that you can't get more of. You literally can't. Now you can buy someone else's time, right, via leveraging, okay? But I can't have more for myself than 24 hours in a day. There's nothing I can do to stop the clock. Doesn't make sense. So, when I get up each and every day, I have a sense of gratitude and thanksgiving. I love the fact that I get to spend beautiful time with my family, my husband, and I talk all day long. I love the fact that I get to be around my kids and I tell them that I love them all the time because I do. I love the fact that I can call my parents and talk to them whenever I desire, and I do. I love that I can call my friends, and be there 100% present. And I'm saying call now because of the time, because of COVID. Otherwise I would say I'd see them, but I want to make time count. Time matter. Sometimes we spend time doing things that don't matter. And I want to challenge you, if you're doing things that when you're done doing them, they don't elevate your life, or it is not a reflection of what love looks like. It's probably the wrong choice in terms of how to spend your time, right? Each and every day, I see time as a gift. I used to say, like, I have to work out. And now I say, look, I get to work out. When my kids say, look, Mom, I got to do the dishes, I said, no, you get to do the dishes. Like we have to see life as for the gift that it provides. I hope this supports you. And number 8, this is the last one, is, oh, this is good. Work what you love without fear and doubt. Okay. So if you want to step into your next level, work what you love without fear and doubt. So what do I mean? I think that we want to get to our next level. We know what we want to do. But a lot of times the reason that people don't move, don't act, or launch the thing that we want, it has nothing to do with skill and talent. It has more to do with belief. And sometimes it's the fear and the doubt that creates the insecurity and the paralyzation, the reason we do not move forward. There's something powerful about taking action, and there's something paralyzing about not taking action. So number 8 is work what you love without fear and doubt. And the only way I know that you can work without fear and doubt is by being in action, because faith and fear can't exist at the same time, right? So literally, when I'm doing something and I'm practicing my faith, like literally, like I think this is going to work, right? I can't be afraid and paralyzed at the exact same time. And so if you are feeling more fear, it means work what you love. Okay. It means do more. Okay. Do more toward that goal, right? So that you don't feel that you're like, oh, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're there now. You've got to do whatever it is. And when you're there, you're solving that and learning more about yourself, and you will come to experience a different part of yourself because of it. If we're talking about stepping into your next level, this is everything. And I know this to be true. And I've thought about tons of things over the years. I was like, I want to do TV segments. I want to do TV segments. And it kind of scared me a little bit, right? Like I was like, I want to do them, and I'm kind of scared to do them. And then I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it, and started pitching myself. And then the moment that I got, my first television segment, I was like, I wonder, but I'm doing it. And once I started doing it, I was so focused on doing it that I didn't have time to be scared. And at the end of doing it, then I'm like, wow, that was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty good. Okay. So really, really, really important. Really, really important. So just know that, work without being afraid, right? Just do it, right? Because there is fear that happens. There's fear that happens sometimes when you are moving in the direction of your goal. There's fear, but if you stay in action, you don't even have time to really deal with the fear, because you've got to do whatever it is that you are accomplishing. And in that moment, you change what you think about being afraid, right? So, and a lot of you guys know my triathlon story, not knowing how to swim and signing up for an open water triathlon, learning to swim in 9 months. And as a result of learning to swim in 9 months, I'm swimming in a triathlon. I did 3 of them, the woman that couldn't swim. And I remember in the middle of that swim thinking, man, now I get to live with a new gift. Right? I'm a pretty amazing swimmer. So if you never take that time to launch, to go for it, if you keep enabling your fears, justifying staying still, playing small, then you're not going to step into your next level. And that's all I want to talk about today. All right. So today what I talked about is how to step into your next level. I'm going to grab a couple of your comments here. And I would like to know your aha or your takeaway. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being here. You could have been anywhere, right? So Cass writes, through the years, definitely, and will come. You have great lives and provide tools, just implementing and knowing the tools to do and use. Thank you for providing a platform. You're welcome. And then Priscilla, you write, I will be a completer. I love it. That's a great picture of you too, by the way. And then Fonda, thank you. She says, great point. I love that. Okay. And Case writes, I love the hood. Yes, very true. Self from judgmental people that drain time. Yeah, it's a waste of time, right? Time in important degree, and leveraging that time according to priorities, pivot, shift, and just when needed. So important, because people who judge you judge themselves, right? And so we don't have to spend our time with people who are like that. You can move on. There's bigger things to do, right? Than to live that life. So you're here for a mission, and you have a calling on your life. And so it's important. And then Cass writes, no room for fear and doubt. Yes, find and work in true passion and purpose. Yeah, with strategy, I might add. And then she says, on the other hand, Muhammad Ali just posted a quote today, if you do not fear your dream, it's not big enough. I do think that when we have big goals, you're going to be afraid, of course. But what we're talking about in the context here is this idea of not letting fear allow you to do what you love to do. And I think some people, they don't ever launch what it is that they're capable of doing because of fear. They'll allow fear to be a paralyzer for them, right? So Arlene writes, face fear head on. Yeah, absolutely. And Priscilla says, I remember that. Congratulations. Yeah. And I ended up doing 3 triathlons. And the funny thing is, literally the day before that race, I only swam in the outside lane at the pool, right? Because I couldn't, or wouldn't at that time, swim in the inside lane because I couldn't hold on. Now imagine that. I have to swim in a lake that's 60 feet deep for the triathlon, but I'm still practicing on the outside lane, right? Like, think about that. But I do remember when I got halfway through that swim thinking, man, you're a pretty amazing swimmer. And I had never thought of myself that way. Case writes, of course, do not fear much, just have to adjust a lot to unexpected things out of control. Resiliency is the key. Resiliency is everything. Maria says, takeaway is time is an asset. Maria, time is an asset, and we can't get it back. And so spend your time doing things that you love to do and hanging out with people that add value to in tremendous ways and that you can add value to. And Priscilla says, your takeaway was value and time. So a couple of you guys, there's beautiful. Angel is here. I'm so glad you're here, darling. And good to see your face, beautiful smile. And Priscilla, you're welcome. I appreciate you. Number 5, Arlene wanted me to repeat number 5. Let me grab my notes. Invest at the level of the outcome you desire. That's a good one. So a lot of times people don't invest at the highest level, right? That they don't invest in themselves at a high level for the outcome they want, right? Just imagine if you were like, whatever it is that you want, why are you investing small in the thing that you want that's really big, right? Invest in yourself at the highest level. Kimberly writes, yes, do what you love. Afraid. That lip color, Kimberly, that lip color. Let me just tell you. Okay. Jamila, I love how you said to do the work and invest in what I need. I definitely need to be more consistent in personal development. Yeah, personal development is everything, right? It's how we show up. And you can always tell what someone's personal development is based on the language that they speak, based on their association, based on their thoughts, right? How they spend their time. Fonda, biggest takeaway is when you spoke to investing at the highest level in yourself. I love that, right? We've got to invest in ourselves at the highest level. You're your number one asset. If you don't do it, who else is going to do it? Kimberly writes, thank you. I have let fear paralyze me from what I love, right? And half the battle is, you could say even up until now, you've let fear paralyze you, right? But not anymore, not after this live, right? Not after this live. And then Priscilla writes, congratulations. Awesome. Kina writes, hey, Kina. Invested quite a bit last year on a few coaches, still in the same space, working on breaking the barriers between now and freedom to work when and wherever, plus time. Let's just talk about that for a minute. The truth of the matter is the investment's one part, doing the work is the other part. And sometimes it takes time. And I shared my story earlier. I don't know if you were here, but when I first started investing in coaches, was 17 years ago. I've worked with the same coach. And it took me about 18 months to really figure things out because I didn't know what I didn't know about myself. And I'm going to talk about this with my clients on tomorrow. That a lot of times people think that when they are investing, that they are implementing everything that they should be. Okay. When in reality, sometimes it's what you're not doing that's getting in the way, not what you think you are doing. So one of the biggest questions you have to ask yourself when you made investments and you feel like I'm in the same place, you're not in the same place. You made investments in yourself. So you're different, right? You got different tools, right? Nobody can take what you know away from you. But you got to ask yourself, what is it that I don't know? It's not what you know. It's because it's what you don't know. That's creating that disconnect. And once we can figure out what that disconnect is, right, then we can fix it for ourselves, right? So, and that was true for me. Now, this was my disconnect. My coach taught me exactly what I needed to do to build my business. But my disconnect was I was thinking that I was going to coach people that I could see. And what really got in my way was this fact of working with people virtually, because I'm not a high-tech person and I couldn't really wrap my head around it. Now, it wasn't something that I consciously understood, but it was impacting my marketing because every time I was talking to people, I didn't feel connected to them because it was a virtual thing, if that makes sense. So sometimes it's a small thing. And once I figured out, that's what it is. And I changed from writing email marketing, because that was big back then, and still is today, but I was trying to do email marketing, attract my clients. And it was so over there. It was like the client was over there and I had no idea who they were. And I switched my model from that to doing teleseminars. where I could hear my voice and communicate with people and I could hear them back. And that made all the difference. So I took what I learned, applied it completely differently. And now the thing that didn't work worked. So sometimes, it's not about, blaming anyone. It's about taking responsibility. The investments that you've made, they're yours. They're your investments. They're your gifts. Now it's like, look at what you've done. Look at what you know. And I say, okay, these things I know, but what part of this isn't working? Because a lot of times there's a part. There's just this one or two things, and not everything is broken. And that's the thing that's so powerful about stepping into your next level, is understanding it is all not broken. The investments that we make, life is like a bag of tools. The things that we accumulate along the way, they just go in the bag. And then one day when we are ready, we start pulling out our bag, and like all of these things that we learned that we thought we couldn't use, didn't know anything about, weren't working, they work. Okay. Really, really, really important. And I guess the last thing I'd say that is, in terms of my own perspective around that, and yet such a good comment, is that I always, thank you, Priscilla, is, it's always take 100% responsibility for the implementation. My mindset is always like, I am going to do what I got to do to figure out what I got to do, right? Because not working wasn't going to get me free. I had to make it work. And that's always been my mindset around stuff like that. I hope that supports you in some way. Arlene writes, thank you so much. You're welcome. And author, pastor, singer, Tamela, what's that? Words, thoughts, feeling, actions, right? That really did it for you, right? Yes, all of it has to be positive. Our faith has to outweigh our fear. Absolutely. Kimberly says, oh, wow, yes. I think you said it just like that. Okay. And Cass says, I was always looking for the clients than having them look for me and the solution I provide. Thinking differently, big takeaway. You have something someone needs, and seeing it in that way, you do, right? And it's really powerful. I learned that years ago, and all of my clients come to me. So, and every single one of my clients asks for the sale. And I am not a big fan of convincing people, strong arming people, because you want people who want the solution you provide. And we all have things that we know how to do really well. And if you have a great marketing message, your ideal clients will say, that's the person that I need. I want to invite each and every one of you to take a look at our upcoming conference on March 1st through 5th called The Giant Experience, and the Giant Experience Conference. And I'll post a link here when I'm done. And it is an amazing event where I teach you how to package, price, position, and find buyers, right? And there's another case. Yeah, there is. That's right. There is. There are 2 cases on this on live, right? So I want to invite you to the Giant Experience Conference. It's my signature event. It's pretty amazing. I've posted a testimonial page there for you to take a peek at some of the results some of the women have achieved that have come, or some of their opinions as a result of coming. I can't guarantee that you will create the exact same results, but they've done the work, and you should take a look and listen. And I teach you how to package what you know into a high ticket offering, how to price to fully value your transformation, how to position yourself in the marketplace as the obvious choice, how to find buyers, and we do it over the course of a week. So every day from the 1st to the 5th, I answer questions that relate to packaging, pricing, positioning, finding buyers, so that over the course of the week, you become clearer on how to build a high ticket offer in your business, how to be a giant in your life and in your business, how to stand in your value. So that's really important to me, that I support women with understanding that you do have the knowledge base to take your background, your gifts, and your talent, and to package it to offer it to the world, to solve problems and be properly compensated for that. So check out the event, and we always sell out. And so I'm excited that, that I had the opportunity to speak with you today. Kimberly writes here, Thank you for this awesome coaching and teaching tonight. Well needed and very helpful for me. I'm so glad. Okay. And Jamila says, Ms. Redrick, can you give an example about how to invest the level of outcome I desire if there is time? Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. So here's an example. Okay, let's use something like, let's say you want to be a great violin. You want to play the violin in a tremendous way. Why would you invest with like a local teacher that could teach you how to play the violin when your goal is to play concert halls right around the world or something like that? Wouldn't it make sense if you have an interest, you have a skill base, you're reasonably good at it, to work with the best? And if you're going to work with the best, you're likely going to learn some things in a different way. You're likely going to have a higher level of exposure and network, or skill sets are going to probably be higher in terms of what you're learning. So you can move along quicker, faster, sooner when you work with people who are already connected or already done what you want to do, or who have different kind of resources. So investing in yourself, at the level of the outcome you desire is important. Like for me, I didn't invest in a coach that didn't have the results that I wanted. I only invested with coaches who were free because I wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur. And I did not want someone to tell me I could get you free. I wanted someone that was living free, and so that they could teach me, right, how to do it, because I knew they knew how to do it. So, and I think that's really important. A lot of times when people invest with their teachers and coaches and mentors, they don't invest with people who have evidence of the success that they desire. And that's super important. We get caught up in things like shiny objects, or we get caught up in like personality, a beautiful dress, or, piece of jewelry or something like that, something that doesn't mean anything, right? Beautiful talk or something like that. But at the end of the day, the results that somebody creates for themselves first, and then that they can transfer through their knowledge to others, right, tells you that they're a great teacher for you. Talent's not transferable. Technique is. So, I would say this, that I'll never be able to. If Michael Jackson taught me personally how to moonwalk, I would never have been able to moonwalk like Michael. Now, I would be able to moonwalk better, okay, like me, but not like Michael, okay, because he had talent, and talent's not transferable, but technique is. So talent is a step-by-step. He could teach me how to moonwalk, correct? All right, but technique is transferable, talent is not. So invest with people who have the ability to teach their processes, their technique, and they have evidence of it. And I think that if you create results in an ongoing way, and that's typically evidence that you do it, right? That you probably have done it, have a history of doing it for yourself and then for others, right? And that you currently do it. That's what I'm suggesting. Let me know if that answered your question, Jamila. Are there any last ahas or takeaways before we sign off? I want to thank you for your time tonight. You guys have been amazing. I appreciate you. You see, I'm letting my gray hairs grow in a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. I don't know if I'm going to do anything. I kind of want to see what's going to happen here, because it looks like I only gray right here, and right in the front. Is that the wildest thing ever? Can you believe it? So I don't know what I'm going to do. What you guys think? And my daughter told me, look, just go for it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to go for it. All right. Any final ahas or takeaways? Fonda writes, thank you so much. Okay. Any final ahas or takeaways? I know there's a slight delay. If you're watching the replay, I want to hear your comments too. So make sure you post here. And if we're not already connected, join me at redrick.com and you'll get on my email list. Okay. Mia Redrick. Yeah. Thank you, Kimberly. She says, okay. Kimberly says, love it. You're beautiful. I appreciate you. All right. And looks good. You know what? I'm trying to get used to this whole gray hair situation. I'm not sure, because I keep making it black hair. So that's how I don't get used to it. So, it's like, and so my daughter's like, just go for it. Just let's see. Okay. All right. I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys. I love you. And I'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing day. All right. And I'll post the link here for the conference when I'm done. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.